back with another race week, and this time we are in Qatar, the only Grand Prix that next year will actually hold 3 different motorsports. And I'm talking about WEC, MotoGP, and Formula 1. This track will also be here for a good amount of time, and we're talking about the expected upgrades coming here. There isn't going to be a lot like a Singapore, but there is some stuff coming and a lot to be talked about, especially with Ferrari and their future. Also, talking about Mercedes, Aston Martin, and McLaren. We know that Red Bull is done for the year. First team I want to jump into is McLaren. So the Qatar GP is a track that we should expect the highest form for McLaren. And why is that? Well, if you look at the track and it's very weird, almost like T-Rex hand looking GP, it looks very odd, but for McLaren, odd is good, especially because it's all medium to high speed. The only real corners that are kind of slow, if you look at it, is after the second finger. That turn right there can be kind of slow, but the rest of this track is very medium to high speed. And of course that favorites the McLaren car. That is where they are strongest. They are pretty good now in the slow speed, but it is medium to high speed where they thrive, and this is where they could actually compete with Red Bull. There are some upgrades coming in the future for this team. They do say that in Qatar there's nothing, at least right now, rumored. Maybe some stuff comes, maybe some track specific stuff. I would expect some big wings here, both in the front and rear wing, and a lot of track specific stuff to focus down on being improved on the tire wear, but also can they keep the consistent pace throughout the whole entire race with more downforce, because the curbs here can be kind of nasty. They can really hit at the tires. And McLaren has seemed to have improved their tire wear considering where they were at in the beginning of the season. Also wanted to thank you all so much for the support on the channel recently. Over 10,000, absolutely insane. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you're watching these videos, thank you for all the love. Leave a like, it means a lot for the video, and it also pushes it out to more people, and that just means a lot to me. So thank you all for the support. Let's get back into the video. Already in October, just the beginning of October, they are practically done with their 2024 chassis and car model and the design. We do know that they went with the downwash now, which is obviously going to be resorted to a Red Bull design, but it is a bit different. But now they're saying that for 2024, the car is going to look a lot more different, have a more profound undercut. It's going to have the little side pod inlet that Red Bull has, and it's already good that from literally October to March, they can work on this car. And I mean go at an aggressive pace, because that is what Ferrari is shooting for. Beginning of March is when the racing starts again for 2024. They got a lot of time to improve upon the concept, but also build upon the car. So very exciting news if you are a Tifosi, because they need to work on the car. They seem to have sorted out their problems. Qatar will be an interesting Grand Prix for them because the wind could be high here, but it's also medium to high speed. Sometimes they struggle. Japan was pretty good though, and they weren't too far off the McLaren pace. So I hope for a good Grand Prix here for Ferrari. Next team I want to talk about is Aston Martin. Let's get into the team in green. So they've struggled all year with high speed and medium speed. Why is this? Well, the rear of the car has been very unstable in high and medium speed, and holding that consistent pace at a very balanced but also fast level is difficult to get down. They were very good in the beginning of the year in slow speed, and actually in medium and high speed on tracks that actually required a lot of downforce, they were strong. Saudi was one of them. They were actually very strong in the first sector. I don't know if anybody remembers when Lance Stroll put in that like crazy purple first sector, but resorted to still being a slower lap than his last one because he screwed up the third sector. Regardless of that though, the car can find pace here, but it's really relying on if they can get this setup down. The setup just seems to be out of the window. They're saying that their actual rear wing setup with the car is just a bit jacked up and stuff just isn't working out over there in the Aston Martin squad. They say this new wind tunnel that's coming for 2024 and really the mid-season of 2024 is a game changer because of everything else coming with it. Here at Qatar, the upgrades that are expected for here are probably going to be track specific. There isn't going to be anything big because it is a Grand Prix that's kind of in the middle of stuff. We're moving to North America now, and with tracks like Brazil, Circuit de Americas, Las Vegas, and even Mexico being all pretty close to each other, that is where the majority of the last parts for these cars is going to come. Qatar is not really focused on that, so for a team like Aston Martin, already kind of working on this like tight schedule, nothing really should be expected for them here in Qatar. They do say towards the end of the season and really going towards the end of the season, they will keep bringing parts and work upon their 2023 car so the 24 car can be a lot more successful in figuring out its issues like the high and medium speed and the instability in its rears. The tire wear wasn't great in Japan, so hopefully they can figure that out. They should though, it's a more downforce track and that should help them out. But let's see, I expect a 2-stop here. Mercedes is the last team that I want to cover because they have some rumored parts coming here. Will they be track specific? Will it be a new part to add to the car? It might be. In Japan, they were okay in Sector 1, but okay being 6/10ths down in Sector 1 in a car that felt pretty good there. Means that their actual aero efficiency in the car is just lackluster. They have a lot of drag in the car. It's really pushing them down. They have a rumored new floor coming to Circuit of Americas, and that is supposedly their very last upgrade of the year. It's in Circuit of the Americas, but they're already in full-fledged going towards 2024. A lot of teams have focused there. Mercedes does say they want to compete for P2 and grab that P2 in the constructors. I don't think they really care for it that much. I think it's more for the media to be like, oh yeah, we're still like fighting here. Keep watching Formula One. And of course, I'll keep watching, but the reality is they're on 2024. We just saw Lewis Hamilton go to Brackley, talk about the team about the W15. Obviously, he wants more change in that rear. The rear of the car is super unstable. And if upgrades are coming, I would expect them towards the rear of the car. As we said, floor is coming towards Circuit of Americas. That is the current rumor and what is expected for the future of this team. They are working a lot better. It does seem like they're a little bit more quiet now in the media and expecting a 2024 season to be a lot better. With Lewis going to Brackley, we could expect more. I even covered a video already talking about the rumored 2024 car that is coming and how it should be a more Red Bull concept. I think that's what the floor is probably going to shoot towards, because we did see the floor in Monaco over there for Red Bull, and even Max said he's like, oh, by Japan we might see some new floors that look maybe like ours. Maybe Mercedes is doing that. Their floor that was actually shown in Singapore wasn't like a crazy difference. I think it was the same floor from Monaco. A lot to be expected from the Mercedes squad and what Lewis Hamilton and George can pull out of the car. My expectations going into this race is that Red Bull is probably going to dominate again. McLaren have their biggest chance of the year here though. This is a track that you should expect McLaren to really thrive under these conditions. Maybe in qualifying, we're going to get a very close qualifying. I expect a fun race though. We do have a sprint here, which could make for a big difference, but I wouldn't expect it to change too much in P1, but maybe throughout the rest of the grid. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of the Qatar GP and about these upgrades coming? A lot to be expected for Circuit of the Americas. That is where you guys got to tune in for that week. It is going to be huge there when it comes to the actual upgrades, but a lot here too. Let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave a like, subscribe. It would mean the world, and